So we're 3 episodes into Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and it's not that bad so far, but there's a big gargantuan cloud hovering over the show, and let me explain it the best way I can. So imagine this, I'm chewing in an igloo, okay? The penguins are chirping, chopping up about the good old days of Antarctica and how cold it once was. But then I see a huge crack form in the ice where the penguins are staying. The situation's urgent, so I grab whatever I can to fix it, and I choose Elmer's glue. It works, but every 2 days I have to reapply it to keep the ice from splitting. The thing is, I could have just solved the issue from the very beginning by using Flex Seal. Then I wouldn't have to constantly reapply Elmer's glue. It just fixes the problem immediately. And that's basically what Daredevil Born Again is to me.
What an odd thing to say.
This show was originally created by people who either didn't know or didn't care about Daredevil. They chose not to use the 3 seasons of foundation built by the Netflix series, instead said that those seasons were in another universe. Born Again would be the MCU in another universe where Foggy and Karen just don't exist, replaced by characters like Cherry and Kirsten. Now, as we all know, that was a terrible idea, so Marvel brought in Dario Scardapane as the new showrunner, and he shot a few new scenes for each episode and completely made episodes 1, 8, and 9 from scratch. And what we got as a result of that is a Frankenstein's monster of a coagulation of a mess. Because the original writers didn't care about the Netflix show, they undid so many things that are still haunting Scardapane's version now. First off, Wilson Fisk should not be the main villain from the start. Seasons 1 and 3 of Daredevil already had him as a primary antagonist, and it was also the big bad in Hawkeye. So I absolutely love Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, and he should be in the show, but he shouldn't be this heavily involved again because it turns to the same story over and over again. Matt and company try to use the justice system to take down Fisk, but he gets out. He's too powerful. He controls the courts, the cops, the FBI, and now his own task force. Now he's the mayor, but in the end, Matt beats him and saves the day. We've already seen this, and somehow it's still happening again. Keeping Fisk as the main villain completely undermines how perfect Season 3 of Daredevil was. In that season, Matt loses faith in the justice system and considers killing Fisk to stop him for good. But then our GOAT, Agent Nadeem, records a dying declaration that ensures Wilson Fisk goes to prison. That's one of the key reasons Matt doesn't kill him, because there was still a way to win the right way. But in Born Again, Fisk just spawns out of prison. We never learn how, and that completely disrespects Agent Nadeem's character, who was the most valuable player of Season 3. Then we've got Bullseye, who suddenly decides to work for Vanessa, the same woman he was trying to kill in Season 3, because Fisk, murdered Julie. Apparently it took him 8 episodes in Born Again to remember that, and even then, he tries to kill Fisk instead of Vanessa, which doesn't make sense. If anything, he should have gone an eye for an eye. Shout out Agent Orange. And also, Matt's reaction to Fisk being free, it just doesn't feel right to me. If this was a true continuation of Season 3, which is what Scardapane is trying to do, but the original writers weren't, so it's just a mess, Matt would have gathered evidence to lock up Vanessa immediately, because Fisk broke their deal. Hey, remember their deal in Season 3?
You keep my secret, and you won't harm Karen Page or Froggy Nelson or anyone else. Because if you do, I will go after your wife.
But Matt just doesn't care because once again, he was retired from being Daredevil. And we already saw the storyline in The Defenders where Matt learns he can never truly retire. And now he's relearning the same lesson all over again. And I can't be the only one who's noticing this. We've already seen Fisk corrupt a government organization. In Season 3, he controlled the freaking FBI. Now in Born Again, he's doing the exact same thing with the anti-vigilante task force. It's just boring to me. I've already seen the story before, and I've seen it done better in Season 3. There's also just no way New York would have voted for Wilson Fisk. After everything that was exposed on him at the end of Season 3, he was already unpopular because he got out of jail so early, and then he got a nice hotel, and then he got exposed for everything, like for good. It just doesn't make sense. He should not have been the main villain of the Disney Plus era. It would have been way more interesting if Fisk had to work with Daredevil to take down Muse in Season 1. But, we saw how that went down, what they did with Muse. But that's just something we haven't seen before. But hey, I guess there's a reason I'm not a highly paid writer writing, one of the best superhero shows into the ground. I don't know if y'all can tell, but this really grinds my gears because Daredevil is my favorite superhero. And that's why I had to make this video. Season 2 of Born Again is not bad so far. I want to reiterate that. It's just still being haunted by Season 1, which was just awful in my opinion. I hated Season 1. But I do appreciate the brutal action so far. It feels like Matt and company are in dire need, you know, because if they get arrested, they're done, you know. So I do feel the dire situation with how brutal Matt is with the action so far, and I like how they're using Matt's senses. They really zoom in on where he's looking at. That stuff is cool to me. But it's still being haunted by the sins of the previous season, and I just can't shake it. So let me know what y'all feel in the comments, and make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and God bless you all.